Welcome to Inner Swim, a space for anyone called to tune within. If you're intuitive, creative, a deep feeler, earth lover, or a sensitive soul, you'll feel right at home here. I'm Jaylin, a wellness mentor and yoga teacher supporting women to reconnect with their inner truth, root into their authentic energy, and live in harmony with their nature. So let's pour a tea and dive in. I'm so glad you're here. Hi friends, welcome back to the Inner Swim podcast. Today's episode is grounded in the affirmation, I love and respect myself. So we're talking affirmations and the power of affirmations. We're talking self-love, self-worth, and grounded practical steps for enhancing our relationship with ourselves and cultivating a relationship with oneself that is based in love and respect. So let's just take a moment to breathe and pause. I invite you to take at least one deep breath in and out. And if that felt good, take another. And just check in and ask yourself how you are in this moment. Ask yourself, what would change in my life if I truly loved and respected myself? Not just as an idea, but as a daily practice, as an embodied experience. What would change in my life if I truly loved and respected myself? So self-love is coming from a very high place. It's not ignoring our shortcomings, but it is about accepting them and accepting exactly who we are. And it's not about not growing or holding ourselves back, thinking that we are perfect, or opposite, that we are always less than perfect. Perfectionism is not helpful in our lives, and we can just let go of any ideas of being a right or wrong, perfect or imperfect being. Self-love is about energetic alignment. It's about having a healthy relationship with oneself. And self-respect is the same thing. To me, self-respect is having a healthy relationship with oneself and taking actionable steps grounded in that relationship. So in today's talk, we are using a tool, we're introducing a tool that is an affirmation. And the affirmation is, I love and respect myself. So I invite you to try this on for size. Say it out loud, or if you'd like, say it silently to yourself. I love and respect myself. Notice how it feels to say this. So that love, again, is acceptance. It's having an overall attitude of friendliness toward ourselves, or compassion. And that respect is love in action. It looks like having good boundaries. It looks like being truthful. It looks like having integrity. So I'll give you a little backstory to my life. I struggled with low self-esteem, low confidence for a long time, a big chunk of my life. I am naturally introverted and quite quiet as a person. And so this led to a lot of internal dialogue, a lot of internalization of things and overthinking and overanalyzing, and a lot of self-criticism, a lot of speaking to myself harshly, speaking to myself in ways that I would never speak to a friend or person I cared about. So when I started on a healing journey where I wanted to actually develop a loving and friendly relationship with myself, the first place to start was with awareness. Just noticing, well, how am I speaking to myself and what is my relationship to myself? And I started to notice that certain situations and scenarios, say with, friends, someone I'm working with, a partner, a family member, or even scenarios in my work, things would happen, as they do in life, that would cause me to feel like the ground beneath my feet wasn't stable, like I was shaken to my core. Things would hit me right to my core and would affect how I felt about myself and how much love I was going to show myself and respect. So if something quote unquote bad happened in my outer life, in my outer world, I would often then internalize that as, well, I don't deserve this love. I don't deserve respect. Who I am is not good enough. Who I am is not even good at all. And this would show up obviously in many, many different ways. But this low self-worth, this low confidence, it affected my relationships. It affected how I showed up in work. It affected my daily life from the time I opened my eyes to the time I closed them, and even in sleep. I believe having low self-worth, low self-respect, it will inevitably lead to depression and will affect your sleep and basically all of the areas of our lives. So I realized I had to start to heal how I spoke to myself. And I thought, well, rather than picking apart all the different thoughts I have about myself that are maybe harmful, why don't I just start replacing those thoughts with a really simple and basic sentence and affirmation that gets right at the heart of what I want to seed and what I want to see grow in my life. And that was the birth of I love and respect myself. A simple affirmation that I could slot in when I started to feel like my core was getting shaken, when the ground beneath my feet, like the rug from under my feet, was getting pulled out. I had nothing tangible in myself to stand on. When I felt my sense of self collapse and grow small, I would just say, I love and respect myself. I love and respect myself. And this simple, unassuming affirmation, it worked as just an embodied reminder of no matter how I'm feeling in that moment and no matter the external circumstances, I can just choose to love and respect myself anyway. That becomes a non-negotiable. Because the truth is, not having self-love, not having self-respect, it doesn't make us better people. When we berate ourselves and when we choose to not be friendly with ourselves, it doesn't make us better. It doesn't make us more whole. If anything, it does the opposite. So when I started to feel that temptation to punish, criticize, and berate myself, I decided I was just going to replace it. And again, that was in the face of external circumstances, maybe someone saying something to me that I could start to feel hitting me at my core, affecting my self-belief or how I felt about myself. I replaced it with the affirmation. That could be something happening in my work where I start to have self-doubts, or I have, all of the clouding in my mind. I would replace any thoughts I was going to start rambling off with the simple affirmation. So I invite you to try this on for size. Try this on for yourself. I invite you to repeat the affirmation again slowly, either out loud or in your own mind and heart. I love and respect myself. And notice, where in your body do you feel the affirmation? Is there any resistance, or does it land really well? When was the last time you felt that you really disrespected your own energy? And each time, for the rest of today or even this week, try it on. Each time you catch yourself self-criticizing, just gently replace it with this affirmation: I love and respect myself. Just replace it and see what happens. Chances are, how you feel inside will change, and therefore how you show up in your outer world will also change. And what you're doing is you're building up true self-esteem, and you're building up a sense of basic respect and friendliness with the person whose relationship is the most important in your life. That's the one with you. Once this affirmation, it settles into your psyche. After you repeat it again and again, it settles in. It settles into your cells, your bones, your muscles, your deeper mind. They all receive the thoughts that you're thinking. They all receive this affirmation, especially when it's said with mindfulness and with pause. So once this affirmation, it starts to embed itself in your being. It starts to become who you are and how you genuinely feel about yourself. It will lead to setting better boundaries. It will lead to choosing more respectable decisions for yourself. Instead of feeling guilty for taking care of yourself or for making decisions that prioritize your health and well-being, you will just do them. You will naturally feel drawn to them. And it will also lead to just being a better friend to yourself, speaking kindly to yourself after making mistakes, so that you can actually learn from them, and so that you don't have to create additional stress every time you feel like you make a very human mistake. So in Yoga Nidra practice and meditation, there is an element to this practice that we call sankalpa. Sankalpa roughly means an intention. The idea is that when we are in a restful and receptive state and we plant this sankalpa, it's like a seed we plant in our fertile minds. So maybe this affirmation is something you'd like to plant in your mind, not just when you need it most, not just as a refuge, something to help you feel better in the moment, help you feel more connected to yourself in the moment, but it could be a seed that you plant in the fertile soils of your mind, maybe each morning when you wake up, if you want to spend a few moments just connecting to your breath and saying your affirmation to yourself. Then you will be planting seeds that take root, that are then there to support you in your most highly vulnerable and difficult moments. So we're nearing the end of this little talk, and I want to invite us to revisit this affirmation one last time with presence. If you can close your eyes, do that. And silently or out loud say, I love and respect myself. Does it feel even slightly different now saying this affirmation? Does it feel even slightly different from the first time we said it at the top of this talk? Maybe you'd like to write this affirmation down on a piece of paper or in your journal. Maybe you'll come to it again first thing in the morning, or say it to yourself as the last thing before you fall asleep, or maybe at the start of every meditation as a sankalpa, as a seed of intention. And I trust that as you work with this very simple affirmation, your relationship with yourself will certainly blossom and grow. And therefore, all of the relationships in your outer world will be better for it. Your work and all the things that you do will be better for it. Because love, it starts at home. And our one true home is the place in our own hearts and minds. It's the home that we take with us no matter where we go and no matter who we're with. Human beings are not very different from flowers. We are both sensitive and delicate and incredibly resilient. We open up to a very powerful light and heat from the sun, and yet we remain soft and supple. But a human being that is berating themselves, harming themselves, is like trampling over that flower. It's like pulling it up from the roots or pulling the leaves off the stem. It's like depriving the flower of water, light, nutrients, and all the things that it needs to survive. We humans, we need love to survive. We thrive on love. We blossom in love. So each time you say this affirmation, it's like you're watering yourself. It's like you're taking in the nutrients from good soils that you are cultivating for your own growth and your own well-being. So it's not about you above others. It's about feeding yourself in the garden that we all share. And the more kind you are to yourself, the more you will spread that kindness to the world that we all share, to others. And maybe you too can share this message of self-love and self-respect to the people in your life that you feel are unnecessarily hard on themselves. So if you found anything helpful in this podcast, even just a little nugget, something to take with you, then please take it with you. Maybe share it with a friend or a loved one. And I thank you so much for listening and for being here and for taking this in. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day and maybe take this affirmation with you into the rest of your week, into the rest of your life. Until next time, go well. Thanks for being here and listening, dear one. You can find all of my offerings at innerswim.com. And if you feel called to go deeper into this work, I encourage you to check out intuitive practices like womb yoga, energy healing, yoga nidra, and more. I can't wait to connect with you. I'll see you over at Inner Swim. With love, Jalen.